Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. And thanks all of you for coming out in this tenuous weather today. And I want to give special thanks to my friend Al Bayless, who, along with his wife, Joyce, are you out here? Where's Joyce? There you are, sweetie. How you doing? I love you. Good friends of mine for many, many years, and great patriots, too. And I do want to remember one other group and pay tribute to them for all of their service. I know those of us who receive patients at the hospital truly appreciate what happens in the field with those first responders. So if you'll join me in giving a hand to the Warren County first responders and for all they do for everyone. I have a little news flash, late breaking news today. I wish we had one of those Fox News alert banners running across here that they flash every 10 seconds. Apparently, Representative Anthony Weiner has decided that he's going to take a leave of absence and get treatment. Chalk another victim up so that Barack Obama can fight for victims in America. Today, in this summer of our discontent, Americans across this nation wonder if enough patriots like Dr. Joseph Warren, for whom this and many places across this great country are named, still exist. It was Dr. Warren who reported on the Battle of Lexington, "Nevertheless, to the persecution and tyranny of his cruel ministry, we will not tamely submit. Appealing to heaven for the justice of our cause, we determine to die or be free." He spoke of King George. At this fragile moment in our history, he might as well have spoken of King Barack. What do you think? Our country is in danger, but not to be despaired of. Our enemies are numerous and powerful, General Warren said. On you, the people, depend on the fortunes of America. You are to decide the important question on which rests the happiness and liberty of millions yet unborn. Act worthy of yourselves. That would be a good mission for those of us here today as we go out in the, some 14, 15 months before the next election, to go out and preach the word of liberty and justice and the truth and the authenticity that we know accompany the American way. The founding patriots and catalysts of a type of governance the world had never seen before and has nowhere else been duplicated must be rolling in their graves every time they see this president launch another assault on liberty. They believed, the founding patriots that is, that government that governs least governs best. Barack Obama believes that more government is better government. They, the founders, believe that free men and women will, with the guiding light of God's truths, best determine their own fates. Barack Obama believes only he and a committed cadre of like-minded central planners can chart the course of 320 million lives. The founding patriots maintain that the federal government exists to preserve and secure absolute and eternal and inalienable rights endowed by a creator. Barack Obama and his disciples believe, on the other hand, that governments exist to establish new rights determined by political fiat and whatever the whim of the contemporary moment brings. In short, Barack Obama, Anthony Weiner, Charlie Rangel, David Vitters, John Edwards, and countless number of other misguided and way too powerful members of the ruling class don't see in their human failings the brilliance of small r republicanism. It is precisely because power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely that the scope and control of government must, I repeat, must be constantly limited, not just reformed, but limited. And in these times, often the control and scope of government must be removed. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that Barack Obama, the modern Democrat Party, the establishment media, most of academia, not to mention the vast majority of the growing federal bureaucracy, comprise a real, present, and existential threat to America. In an attempt to secure happiness for all, they have stifled its pursuit for most. In an attempt at social justice, they have created a shrinking class of serfs, that's you and me, who work in behalf of a recipient class. If you don't believe me, just ask a few questions. Are you really free if the government persecutes you for drinking whole milk? Ask the Amish. Are you free if you must have a permit to sell rabbits? Ask the Dollarites of southwestern Missouri. who are now threatened with a $90,000 fine by the USDA for selling over $500 of rabbits? Is your local school board really free to maintain local curriculum standards, pursue invocations at the commencement, or have the high school football team pray before a game, when the government, who really subsidizes the schools to a small authority, yet mandates what, how, and when free speech is appropriate? Is the school board, your elected representatives of your local school, really free? Are you free when the results of a man and woman's reproductive choices become your obligation to support that choice? Are you really free when the Christian motto, "You are your brother's keeper," becomes usurped by ambitious politicians to justify confiscatory, taxing, and redistributive policies? I maintain we're losing our freedom. We're at a tipping point. We talk about it every week on the radio. We're like a teeter-totter, tipping. Will we be free or will we not be free? We've come to the point when the load on the taxpayer is getting unbearably heavy. Those pulling the cart will no longer be able to pull those that are sitting on the cart. And regardless of who becomes a legitimate opponent for Barack Obama, or for Claire McCaskill, or for any other statist federal office holder, we must fight to save the sinking ship. Of course, during the primaries, we should support the candidate who most closely endorses first principles. But in the end, it's our moral imperative to dethrone dear leader Obama and his throng. That, as Scott Rasmussen said this morning on my program, is our prime command and our prime mission for 2012. Václav Havel, former president of the Czech Republic, delivered a speech to the people of Czechoslovakia on New Year's Day 1990 that applies to America in our day. It was entitled "A Contaminated Moral Environment." Under totalitarianism, he noted, quote, "We fell morally ill because we became used to saying something different from what we thought." That's political correctness. And he went on, "The previous regime, armed with its arrogant and intolerant ideology, reduced man to a force of production and nature to a tool of production. It reduced gifted and autonomous people, skillfully working in their country, to nuts and bolts of some monstrously huge, noisy, and stinking machine, whose real meaning is not clear to anyone. It cannot do more than slowly and inexorably wear down itself and all its nuts and bolts." Sound familiar? Do you feel like nothing more than a small expendable cog in the wheels that drive an increasingly powerful beltway machine? All to further the power and control of the ruling elite that they have over you. If so, now is the time to share the Constitution, the founding principles of freedom, liberty, self-determination, and the recognition that flawed humans should never be granted more than a minimum of power over the individual. Share it with your friends. Be educators. Share it with your family and your colleagues now, because now, even though it's an off year and the crowds here are small, there is a large sponge of unengaged people out there that need to be engaged. You, the patriots, are the ones that are now called to action, because the time is nigh. And like a thief in the night, Barack Obama and his kind are about to steal our republic from us. Be a constitutional Paul Revere whenever you can. Now is the time to save the republic. As President Havel said to a people awakening to freedom, it would be very unreasonable to understand the sad legacy of the last 40 years as something alien, which some distant relative bequeathed us. Accept this legacy as a sin we committed against ourselves. If we accept it as such, we will understand that it is up to us all, and up to us only, to do something about it. Honor, courage, this is my words now, honor, courage, authenticity, and being true to our founding principles, these are the virtues that you, the Warren County Patriots, celebrate today, and the only virtues that will bring relief from our current tribulation. You know, Dr. Warren, Joseph Warren, had an interesting quote. He said, Our country, he said, I would have such a government as should give every man the greatest liberty to do what he pleases. It's a libertarian message he brought. And I think this is the one that we need to bring to our friends, our families, and our colleagues. Thanks for inviting me. It's great to be here. May God bless you, and may God bless the 50 sovereign states of this United States of America.